Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of my tutorials on Galaxy for Bioinformatics. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to identify antimicrobial resistance genes on a Galaxy platform using the tool ABricate. So let's get started. So first of all, visit the Galaxy page, the platform, all right? So this is the page. I'll leave the link to this page in the description box. So when you're here, make sure to register, create an account, and then log in so that you can save your sessions. And then come to the right side where you see history. Okay, so the history, I come to the plus icon here, click it to get a new history. And then come here to rename. So to rename it, use this pencil icon here. So click it and then you can rename it. So I will just say AMR genes detection. You can use any name of your choice, that's up to you, but I want to use this one, which is descriptive of what I'm going to do. So I have saved it. Okay, so now let's import an example data. So I have some genome assemblies here on one of my GitHub repos. So there's a page, and I'll leave the link to this page in the description box. All right. So these genome assemblies will obtain after I run spades on some Vibrio cholera data sets. All right. So if you want to learn how to perform genome assembly, you can check the description box. There are links to tutorials that show you how to do that. So you can run genome assembly using the spades command line tool, or you can also run it on the Galaxy platform. All right. So I've already covered tutorials on both approaches, so you can just watch those videos. Okay, and if you have multiple samples too, you may need to write a bash script to help you do that, or you can also use NestFlow. And I've covered tutorials on how to run genome assemblies on multiple samples. So just in the description box, you'll find the links to all the necessary videos. I repeat, check the description box, you'll find all links to genome assembly tutorials that will help you to polish your skills. Okay, so the original data, the raw reads can be found here. So when you visit the DNA database, you can find the data set here. So I will leave the link to this page in the description box. And the publication for this data is also here. So I'll leave the link to this page also in the description box so that you can read more about it. So that's about it. Now let's start. So we are going to start with an example data. All right. So just come to this page here, and then come to this side, just take any of the files. Okay, so I'll just click on this file here, this one here, and then I'll be sent to another page. So when you are here, come to this side, raw. So when you are here, just right click and then go to copy link. Okay, and then you have the link. So now come to Galaxy and then come to upload data. So click upload data. And then when you're here, come to paste/fetch data. So click it and then just come to this side. Don't do anything here. Come to this entry box here and then paste the link right there. Now click on start. So when you click on start, the file will be uploaded. So once you see 100%, you can close it and then check this progress here. So if everything is done, if the file is uploaded successfully, if the upload is complete, then the background will turn green. At the moment, it's still processing. So we have to wait for everything to get done for us. Okay, so the file has been uploaded. Okay, so we can proceed. So this is just one sample, by the way. So we will just do it quick, and I'll also show you how to run it for multiple samples. So come to the search tools, this box here, this is the tool section, and search for ABricate. So just type it and then you see this. Okay, so once you have this, just click it, this one here, this first one here. So click it and then you have this coming up. Okay, so when you have this coming up, it tells you to specify the input file. Then there are also advanced options you can use. So here we have just one file here. So I'll just select it. If you don't see it, just click and then select it. Okay, that's it. But you should make sure that it's on the single data set and then just select it. And after that, you can come to advanced option to see what you have here. So the advanced options allow you to specify additional options. But for this tutorial, I will just show you how to specify a database. So we have some databases that you can use when you are trying to identify antimicrobial resistance. So one of them is ResFinder. But if you want to change it, just click it and then select the appropriate one. All right. So all these ones are there that you can use. And by the way, ABricate can also be run on a command line. So if you're interested to learn how to run ABricate on a command line, then check the description box. I have tutorials that show you how to do that. Okay. All right. So now let's just select a different database. This is just a demo, by the way, but you have to decide what database you use. So let's just use the NCBI. So click it, and then when you click it, you just scroll down. So it says suppress header, no. So basically all these things, we are going to leave them. That one is up to you. So you have to decide which options you also want and then just set them up. So this is a demo. So it's supposed to help you get started. So I will keep it simple. Now we are done. So what we have to do is to come to this side, round 2. All right. So click it. And then when you click it, you will see the output being displayed here for you. So you have to wait until the background is green. At the moment, it's still processing. So you have to wait for everything to get done for you. Okay, ABricate has completed it. So this is the output. Let's just check it. This is the output. So you can just click it to see what has been given here. Now, a description of the output can be found on the ABricate GitHub page. So you can just come here to see the description. So the output will have these headers. So we have the file or the sample, the sequence starts and strand, etc. So all these things, the descriptions are there. So when you come to the outputs, okay, and when you click it like I did, you even see the headers. So file, sequence, and when you slide it, you see starts and etc. So you can just use that to get some more information about the heads. Now you can download this output. So let's even download it and explore. So to download, just click it and then come to this side, this icon here, click it to download. So when you click it, you can save it to wherever you want to save it. Okay, but make sure to also give it an appropriate name so that you can always get back to it. So let me just cancel it. I'll come back to this because we use this file. All right, so what I will do is to use the same name to save it. So I'll just copy the name and then bring it back. So I'll read download. So I'll just click it to read download and then I'll just save it. So I'll just use this name for it. You can also give it a different name, maybe .abr. I mean, you just have to describe it. That's all that I'm trying to say. So just make sure to give it an appropriate name so that you can easily describe it or easily understand or easily get to know what it is after you have downloaded it. All right, so I'll just leave it as it is. So the .tabular here means that this file here is in the tabular format, so you can open it to your spreadsheet software. So anyway, let's just download it. So I'll just save it in an appropriate direction. So I'm saving it here, AMR gens. So I'll save mine here and then I'll check it out. Okay, so this is the downloaded file. This file here, we can open it with a spreadsheet software. You can also open it with a text editor. All right, but because it's in the tabular format, it's advisable that you use a spreadsheet software to open it. So I will open mine now. All right, so this is the output. All right, so we have the headers to tell you what each column is, and you can just study them. All right, you can also take a look at the assertion ID. So this assertion ID here, you can use it to look up this particular gene. Okay, so for example, this one here, this hits, we have the assertion ID. So I can copy it and then I can come to NCBI here, and I can search for it. So for the searching, you have to select the database that you want. But you can also use all databases. But for now, let's just use the nucleotide database. So I'll just paste the session ID here, and I will search for it. So once I search, I'll get the information here. So it gives us the name, you have a description, you have the sequence, okay, etc. So at this stage, you have to explore and then obtain or extract the information that you want. Okay, so let's get back to our spreadsheet. And then we also have the products here, which is basically the name or description, and we also have the resistance, that's the phenotype. All right, so here it's this particular one, the first one here is resistant to this particular compound or drug. So you can just use that and then get your statistics. So here with this sample, we see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have 6 compounds or 6 drugs that this particular gene has been found to be resistant to. All right, so you have to use the output here to answer your questions. Okay, now what we've done is to identify AMR genes in one sample. But what about if you have multiple samples? So if you have multiple samples, then getting the file one by one, then opening them and then also reading them can be a challenge or can be a cumbersome process. I repeat. So when you have multiple samples, all right, then opening each of the files, each of the outputs, and then looking at the hits, okay, and then getting the information can be cumbersome. All right, so in the next activity, what we are going to do is to identify AMR genes. Okay, we are going to run ABricate on the other samples, and then we are going to aggregate the information, okay, into what we call the summary file, and then we can look at that and then proceed. So let's get back to the Galaxy page here, and then let's proceed. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a different history, and then we will work in that history. So I'll just click on plus, and then I'll just rename the history. So I'll just say AMR. Yes, okay, I'll just say multiple samples. And then I'm going to import the files. Let's get back to batch 1. So here, instead of clicking on each of the files like this, and then coming to this page, and then coming to the raw button to right click, and then copying the link, and then coming to Galaxy to click on upload data, and then pasting the link, can be cumbersome. So what we are going to do is to do a batch download. So I'll just come to the batch 1 page again, and then I'll scroll down. So when you scroll down, you'll find a file called links.txt. So this file has the links for the files. So just click on this file here, link.txt. So click it, and you find the links for the file. So we have 10 samples here, right? So what I want you to do is to highlight all of them. I repeat, what I want you to do is to highlight the links, all the links here, and then just copy them, and then come to Galaxy. All right. So when you come here, let me just do this. When you come here, just click on upload data. So when you click on upload data, come to the paste/fetch data again. And then here, don't do anything, just come to this entry box here and then paste the links. And then click on start. So when you click on start, wait for the progress to get to 100% and then see that the outputs have been generated. So once you see that, you can close it, and then you can wait for the background to turn green. So when it turns green, that means that the files have been imported. So let's wait for everything to get done for us. Okay, so the files have been imported. So that's what we are going to do. We are going to search for ABricate again. Let me just clear this so that we get the list of tools. And then just search for ABricate. And then click on this one, mass screen of quantities for antimicrobial and then virulent genes. So this is what we are using. So click it. Then when you click it, the ABricate tool will be displayed. So here, instead of using single data sets, we will use multiple data sets. So click it. And then when you click it, you select the files. So to select, just click and then scroll down. And then when you scroll down to this side, the first one here, just press your shift button and then click on that last one. That's number one, this one here. So when you do that, everything will be highlighted, right? But if you are finding difficulty, just click on each of them and then press your control to select them one by one. All right. And then do it. But that can also delay. So just keep it simple. Just click on the number 10, this very top one here. Then scroll down to this one here, number 1. That's the first one here. So click it so that everything is highlighted. All right. So once everything has been highlighted, then you can click on this one here, advanced options. So click it and then select the database that you want to use. We use NCBI, so let's be consistent. So I'll still use NCBI. Right. So I'll just search for it. Let's just search. Yeah, it's this one here. So click it to select it and then come to run to. So click it and then you have to wait for ABricate to complete its work. So here, because we are dealing with multiple samples, you have a report for each file. Okay, so in total, we are going to have 10 outputs. Let's just make sure. We have, yeah, so that's what we have here. So we have 10 outputs. So we have to wait for all the outputs to be generated for us. So let's wait for everything to get done for us. And please take note that you can also use the dataset collection strategy, whereby all the inputs you add them to a dataset collection. So they will be treated as a single entity, and then you can run ABricate on that. That will also generate multiple outputs, but all these outputs will be aggregated and then placed in a dataset collection for you. But anyway, that's something we are going to cover in another tutorial. So dataset collections come in handy if you are developing workflows. Okay, so that can be a convenient way for you that instead of always clicking the samples one by one. All right, so that's it. But anyway, let's just wait for everything to get done for us and we can continue. So if you have multiple samples, all right, and you want to process them on Galaxy and you have challenges, you can always reach out to me and then we can work out something. I know, I mean, once you have performed your analysis, definitely you'll be looking at multiple samples. So if you have challenges, just reach out to me and then we can have a session. So for now, let's wait for ABricate to complete. Okay, ABricate has successfully completed its work. So we have the output here. All right, so we are going to have 10 outputs because we supplied 10 input files. So each of the files will have a report generated for it. So we have all of them here. So the reports are here from 11 to 20. Okay, so each of the reports will be just like this one here. All right, but then opening each of the files and then exploring them can be cumbersome. And so it's advisable to first generate a summary file that will give you an overview of what has happened, and then you can look at each of the files for more details. Okay, so let's get back to the Galaxy platform. So what we are going to do next is to generate a summary file. So the summary file will aggregate the reports together. all right, and then give us a summary of it. All right, so we are going to get something like this, and then we can discuss it. So let's do this. So to get a summary file, you have to come to the tools section again. Just click and then clear whatever is there. I want us to list all the tools first. So let's do this. So let's search for ABricate again. ABricate, yeah. So ABricate again. And then this time, instead of using the mask screen of contigs, come to this side. ABricate summary. Okay, summary. Combine ABricate results into a sample matrix of gene presence / absence. So we are going to use this one. So click on it. And when you click it, you will see this coming up. So here we are going to select the report files. We have 10 reports. So from file, let's check from file 11, or let's say from data 11 up to 20, these are the report files. So one for each of the files. Okay, so we are going to select all of them. So to do that, come to this side. Here it's multiple data sets, so we don't need to do anything else. So come to this side where you see the report files being displayed, and then click on number 20, and then scroll down to number 11. Press your shift button or the shift key on the keyboard, and then click on number 11. So this will highlight from 11 to 20. Okay, so that's what we have here. So that's what we are going to use. So once you have done that, come to this side, run to. So click it, and then when you click it, the summary file will be generated. So you have to check this side for the output. So you will see this output here being displayed. So we have to wait for the background to turn green. That means that the report summary, okay, or let's say the summary file has been generated. So we have to wait for it to get done for us. Okay, so we have that here. Okay, so we are going to take a look at the summary file. So first I'll click it, and when I click it, I'll have this display for me. So I can use the slider to check what is there, but let us download it and open it with our spreadsheet software. That will be much convenient. All right, so let's do this. So let's click on this to save it. So I'll click and then I'll download it. So as I'm downloading, I'll rename. So I'll just say ABricate underscore summary. The rest of the text will be removed, but I will leave the extension .tabular. So I will leave it, and then this other ones here also go. So I will save it, and then I'm going to take a look at it. So I will just visit that directory. So there's it. So there's also a tabular file. So I'll open with my spreadsheet software. So I'll do that now. All right, so this is the summary file. All right, so I'll enlarge it a bit and we can discuss. So let me do that now. All right, so we have this column that's for the sample, each of the files, and we have number of hits, and the rest are columns for each of the identified AMR genes. So what we have here, this list here, is all the AMR genes that have been identified, okay, in all the samples. And so what happens is that for each sample or for each file, the number of hits or the number of AMR genes that were identified will be indicated here. So here it's 7. That's for this one here. All right, so we even had that here. Let's see. So we had 7 of them. Okay, so that is what has been indicated here. So when we come to this side, for the 7, the breakdown is here. So each of the AMR genes that were identified, if it was identified in a particular sample, then it will be indicated. Okay, so this value here represents the identity. Let's just check. So let's check it out. Yeah, it's rather the coverage rather. Yeah, I think I omitted it. So it's rather the coverage. So percentage coverage. All right. So let's get back to it. Okay. So we have for each of the AMR genes, all right, so you have the coverage indicated, all right. So if it was identified in sample A, for example, there's one sample, this gene was identified in it, so the coverage will be indicated 100. So when you see a value there, for now, even forget about whether it's coverage or not, just forget about it. Once there's a value there, it tells you that that particular AMR gene was identified in that sample. Okay, so this gene here was found in this sample, and this sample. And when you come to this sample, nothing. All right, so it tells you that this AMR gene was not found in this one. It's absent in this one. And then when it comes to this one here, it's present. And then this also absent. So for this gene, in summary, it was identified in 7 of the samples. Let's just check. There are 7 of the samples and 3 of them absent. So the same explanation goes for these other ones. And so this summary file will give you an overview of what has happened, and then you can inspect the individual files like this one to get more details. That's what you need to know. All right. So when you come here, you can look up each of the AMR genes, check everything here, and then just use the information to answer your questions. Now with the summary here, you can also visualize it by generating a heat map of it. So you can do that to get something like this. And then you can also visualize the AMR genes. Okay, so you can combine it with genome annotation to generate images like this, or to generate some visualizations like this one. So you can use tools like JBrush to do that. So I've covered one such tool. So in the description box, you'll find a link to that video. Okay, so that's how we do it. So with ABricate, I also made mention that you can run it on a command line. So if you're interested to learn how to do that, you can check the video right here.